Thank you for staying with us, and our coverage of the John Goodman DUI manslaughter trial continues this noon. Our Roxanne Stein has a look at what will take place in court this afternoon, as well as a breakdown of this morning's proceedings from our analyst. Roxanne.
All right, Keely. Well, the court has adjourned for lunch. When they come back at 1:15, the defense witness that was on the stand this morning will be back on the stand, continuing to be questioned by the defense. He is a forensics mechanical engineer going through all kinds of technical testimony about what the two vehicles were doing the night in February of 2010 when that Bentley that John Goodman was driving hit the Hyundai that Scott Wilson was driving. Let's continue our team coverage with Christina Mora, who has more on the details of what was going on this morning in the courtroom. Christina, very complicated testimony, wasn't it?
Really was, Roxanne. Good afternoon there. Yeah, the defense this morning trying to establish a whole lot of very technical details. They're trying to establish some points here that are very important to their defense. They had on the stand Michael Urban. He is, like you mentioned, that mechanical engineer. They actually called him the morning after the crash to do a reconstruction. That's in addition to the reconstruction that Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies were doing themselves. Now, defense attorney Mark Shapiro spent hours this morning questioning Urban about that process that he went through and the methods that he used to reconstruct the crash, which a lot of them were very similar to what deputies do to reconstruct. Urban this morning used small wooden cars in court to show the jury what he thinks happened that night. The defense is trying to drive home to jury members that according to Urban, there was a second impact made between the cars, which would alter the estimates of how fast the two cars were going.
Do you have an opinion within a degree of engineering certainty that there was a secondary impact between the two cars in this case?
Absolutely. Well, it's unequivocal. The two made contact. That's where this damage on this door, an A-pillar, rocker panel, and mirror. And judging by the reconstruction, how the vehicles left each other, the evidence that's left on the road by the Hyundai spinning around, they had to hit twice.
Of course, the defense saying that those two cars were going slower than what the state says. The two sides have two different theories on this reconstruction. It's up to the jury if they're going to believe what the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says or what this mechanical engineer is putting in front of them today. Roxanne?
Well, there was an awful lot to break down here, Christina, and we're going to do that right now as we bring in our legal analyst, local criminal defense attorney, Michelle Suskauer. Michael Urban, the forensics mechanical engineer, said the Bentley, in his calculations, was going between 49 and 58 miles an hour on 128th Avenue, where the posted speed limit is 35, and that the Hyundai Scott Wilson was driving was going between 46 and 54 miles an hour on Lake Worth Road, where the posted speed limit is 45 miles an hour. Okay, 49 to 58, 35 miles an hour on 120th Avenue. John Goodman, according to the defense witness, was speeding. What's the difference if he's going 10 miles or 30 miles over the speed limit if he was speeding, Michelle?
Well, it makes a difference on a couple of different fronts. The first front is that Troy Snellgrove, the state's main traffic homicide investigator, used different numbers to plug in to create his traffic accident reconstruction. And he's saying that John Goodman was going over 60, I think 63, 64 miles an hour, and that the collision happened differently. That's one issue, and that what the defense is doing is calling into question the entire accident reconstruction. Second of all, the state has charged John Goodman with two different things, really two theories. One is DUI manslaughter, and the other is vehicle homicide. If John Goodman is going 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, there's really implicitly he's being reckless in a way. So there's a difference in going 10 miles an hour over speed limit, which is what a lot of us do, or going 30 miles over the speed limit, which is really speeding.
And that could make a difference in what the jury agrees on for those charges. Now, let's go to another point that Michael Urban, the forensics mechanical engineer, made this morning. He said at the speed that John Goodman hit the Hyundai, he could not have stopped at that stop sign.
Right.
Now, how is that helpful for the defense?
Well, again, what the state is saying, the same thing, is that John Goodman blew directly through the stop sign. But what the defense is going to do, and they're still putting together and tying all of these strings together, what they're probably going to be saying is he was going slower, but there was a problem with the Bentley, a malfunction, maybe potentially a sudden acceleration, which caused the vehicles to collide in a particular way. Not a T-bone collision, which is what the state's expert said yesterday in cross-examination, but more of a sideswipe in a way where there was two impacts.
What's on tap for this afternoon after the defense finishes with Michael Irvin? Ellen Roberts is going to do the cross.
Oh, right. There's going to be a very big cross. This is a very, very important cross-examination because the state is going to attempt to discredit the defense witness here, which is the main opponent to Troy Snellgrove and their accident reconstruction. And then if there is time, we're probably going to hear from potentially Stacy Shore, which is going to be videotaped testimony, the woman who was with John Goodman the night at the Players Club.
And then this is still expected to perhaps get to the jury by Thursday afternoon.
That's what the hope is, and that the jury hopefully will be able to start deliberating on Thursday, and if there's a verdict Thursday, but I would think definitely by Friday.
But it is going to be a big afternoon in court this afternoon when Ellen Roberts comes forward to do the cross-examination on Michael Irvin, the forensics expert who has been on the stand all morning long. So we will have that for you tonight at 5 on WPTV. Of course, our sister station, WFLX, beginning at 4 o'clock with Jay Cashmere. That's the very latest from our team here outside the Palm Beach County Courthouse, live in West Palm Beach. I'm Roxanne Stein. Back to you.